If someone had told me what it was going to be like to work on a cruise ship before I even started, I feel like I would have been in a better position when I started. I feel like I would have done better. Matter of fact, I feel like I've been scammed or even cheated on. And that is the purpose of today's video. Now, I'm going to share with you 10 tips that I believe can add value to you and put you in a better position whenever you start your cruise ship journey. Now, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is 𝐌𝐍𝐓𝐄𝐒𝐓. I've dedicated this playlist, Work and Travel Overseas, to answer all your questions, give you tips and techniques on what to do to better your journey on working on cruise ships. Now, without wasting time, let us go to number 10. At number 10, we have the whole process can be overwhelming. Now, truthfully speaking, with having to apply and having to know what to do and having to search for jobs online, going through the recruitment process to joining the ship, getting all that documentation and paperwork, let's be honest, the whole process can be a bit overwhelming. Now, I've actually put together a video taking you through my 7-step process to make it better for you. So check it out in the link up there, or I'll leave it somewhere in the description. That'll give you a better understanding on what to do if you do follow this 7-step process. I've actually put that video together simply because when I started my journey in cruise ships back in 2018, I had no one to guide me through the process. I had no one to take me through the steps to tell me what to do and when. And that is basically why I dedicated that video. So make sure you check it out and let me know in the comment section. Now, you're going to find that once you start this career, it's one of the most exciting, fun, adventurous, and of course, incredible journeys that you can ever embark on once you start and finish your first contract, of course. Now, at the beginning, like I've said, the whole process can be overwhelming. That is why I've dedicated this playlist again to take you through the process step by step. So please do make sure if you have any recommendations for any topics, let me know and I'll be happy to assist. Now, moving on to tip number 9, we have what to pack. Now, this can also be confusing simply because whenever you are ready to join and come on board, you will not know what to pack. Now, one tip I can give you around this area is simply to research your itinerary. Do a thorough research on where you are going the moment that you know and been assigned to a certain ship, simply because throughout the year there'll be different seasons. There'll be different, climates depending on where in the world you are, so you can pack accordingly. I remember when I started my international career about over a decade ago, I was going to the United States. I simply packed my life away. That was because of a fear that I had on not knowing exactly what to pack and what to expect when I get there, like having things or products that I'm used to if I was ever going to find them on whenever I joined the ship. Now, I can tell you that depending on wherever the ship that you're joining is going to go, you might just find whatever that you are looking for. But then again, if you want me to go a little bit more on this topic, I'm actually planning to do a video in the coming weeks when I join to show you what I pack and to simplify the process. So again, let me know if you want to know about this. Now, moving on to tip number 8. Assuming that you have made it through the application process, you have gotten your job and you have just flown to your destination where you are joining the ship. Now, you have just arrived at the airport, and the first thing that's going to happen is that the port agent will welcome you. They would have already, put in together the necessary documentation. So when you go through immigration, they're already expecting you that you are going to be coming. Now, you will need to go through this process of immigration to clear yourself and, of course, go through the legal procedures. Now, they would have contacted you or communicated to you that when you arrive at the airport, there will be a taxi assigned to you, someone to pick you up, or they will assign an airport shuttle depending on the ship that you're going to be working for. Now, if you are joining on the next day, they would have organized a hotel, and again, this information they would have communicated with you. Or if you are joining on the same ship, they will take you directly to the ship. Again, please do check all this information before you leave home so that you know what it is, because there'll be nobody in most cases that you can contact easily when you get there. You won't even have a phone to begin with, so make sure you know and this information and you understand it properly. At number 7, there are a lot of rules on a cruise ship. Now, the first one that you will need to undergo is that you will need to do a safety training within 24 hours of boarding the ship. That is simply because you need to know what to do in case of emergency. You need not to be someone that everyone has to look after. You need to be able to look after yourself, simply because on board cruise ship, safety is actually your primary job. Anything that you get hired for will be like a second job. This is mandatory for everyone that is on ship, simply because, just think about it, when you are working on a cruise ship, you are away and sometimes in the middle of the ocean, and if, God forbid, anything has to happen, every crew member needs to know what to do. They need to be able to assist in duties that will be assigned to help even passengers that are on the ship. Now, moving on to tip number 6. Getting lost on a cruise ship is normal for every new crew member, and depending on the size of the ship that you're going to be assigned to, this can be really overwhelming at the beginning. Now, don't you worry, simply because almost everyone can spot out a newbie and most people will be willing to assist. Simply ask and give it some time. Within a couple of days, you will get your way around things. Now, if I can give you a tip around this area, the most important thing that you should know is where you are working, how to get there, and how to get to your cabin, and of course how to get to the crew mess. This is going to be crucial in the first couple of days that you are joining and working on a cruise ship, because you will want to report to duty on time. You will want to know where you will go to eat. You will want to know, of course, where you're going to go back to your cabin, which you can have your rest and sleep at the end of the day. Everything else, like I've said, will come in with time, and you will learn the ship. The quicker you adjust, the better it's going to be for you. Tip number 5, you're going to be sharing a cabin with someone else. Now, depending on the rank and position that you will be, applying and taking the job up for, this will depend whether you're going to get a single cabin or a sharing cabin. But for most crew members, in most cases, you will be sharing a cabin with someone else. Now, my experience around this area is that a universal rule, or sort of a language, is respect. Now, when you are living with someone, it might be someone from a complete different background or culture from you, and even if sometimes you don't understand each other and maybe you will not agree with everything towards one another, but as long as you respect each other, this will provide a warm space and a great environment to live in. You won't spend much time in your cabin simply because you'll either be working or out exploring during the day. You will be here, of course, in your cabin during your spare time whenever you want to, or in most cases when you are sleeping, of course. But then this will really make sure that, like I've said, it contributes to a positive and a great space to live with. Now, if I can give you another tip around this area, you need to check with your cabin mate the times that he or she is working, simply because you'll be sharing a shower, you'll be sharing all the space that you have, so that you can work out your own schedule to make sure that it doesn't clash with one another, and that you can have your space and the freedom that you would like at the end of the day. Now, for myself, I don't really struggle much with this, simply because I've worked out my own schedule. I get up super early in the morning. In most cases, my roommate is still asleep, and I get to do the things that I want to do, and before he's even up, I'm almost done with my day. So if you would like also maybe to adjust, if you're an early riser like me, this will work out to your best advantage. But then again, like I said, it's simply a matter of communicating with your cabin mate and making sure that when he starts working, or when you do start working so that at the end of the day you can have a very good time schedule to allow you two who are sharing this cabin to have a great environment to live in. Now, moving on to the next step. This is a question most people usually have or unsure about. You don't get a day off when you're working on a cruise ship. Now, I know this might sound a little bit weird, or at the beginning you might be unsure of this, but that is the reality of working on a cruise ship. Unless if you are working for a third party, I know like Steiner, it's actually a third party. For the people who are working at Spa, in most cases they do get days off, but that is something completely different. However, in normal conditions, if you're working and hired by the cruise line itself, you will be working every day. Now, there are laws around this, maritime laws, which allow crew members rest off, because of course we want to sleep, we want to explore and go out and get some time to do the things that we need to do. And in some cases you might be getting a breakfast, a lunch, or a dinner off, but depending on the cruise line that you are working on. Now, moving on to the next step. Number 3, socialize, meet people, make friends. This is one incredible industry. Depending on how big of a cruise line that you are working for, there can be 40, 50, 60, or even more nationalities working on the same cruise line. Now, for me, I've found that this is an incredible opportunity to make friends. It's an incredible opportunity to build networks, build bridges. You will look back 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, and the people that you have met, you will never know what life might align in store for you. And this is an incredible opportunity to take advantage of this, to meet people which we are working with, and to actually socialize and make lifelong, friendship and experiences. There's no better way that I've found that has allowed me to be able to do this than working on a cruise ship. Now, moving on to the next step. Number 2, you can get fired for partying too hard. Now, on a cruise ship, it's different than working and being on land. Depending on the cruise line that you are working for, again, please do check and make sure you know the policies and procedures. But for most companies, I know that you are allowed to have a certain amount of volume of alcohol within you, and that is actually okay. It's going to be different when you are on duty and of course when you are not on duty. But I can share with you one tip, my friend, is that I've seen people that have been above the limit and they actually have been fined. One line that you can never cross, it's like a gray area, as long as you stay and remain professional and you do your job, which is why you are hired. I think in most cases you might just be fine, because on a cruise ship, it's one exciting environment where most people love to have a good time through partying and socializing, like we've mentioned, and doing all of these things. By all means, do all of that, have fun, enjoy yourself, but then again, just remember that you have a job and you want to make sure that nothing stupid as partying too hard can get you in trouble, like getting yourself over limit, because if they do find you, they will breathalyze you, and then if you're above, you can get fired and go home for something silly as that. Now, on to the last one, and this is going to be our biggest take. Crew life is what you make out of it at the end of the day. You see, before I started working on cruise ship, I've heard stories about cruise ships which I wasn't sure about. I've had people who have had their own different experiences say positive and negative things, but then the moment I got here, I made my own experiences. It's going to be different for me, it's going to be different for you, but then the key lies in your head, my friend. Everything that you're going to be going through and doing, it's all up to you, and it's all what you want to make and take out of it at the end of the day. Like I've said, I think this is very crucial, because you can come here and have the best times of your life, or you can come here and go through the most difficult times of your life. It's all up to you. And with that being said, I wish that and I hope that everything that we've discussed today can be of help to you and has given you a better understanding. Now, as we wrap up today's discussion, please remember that, my friend, everything is going to be dependent on you, and please do make sure that if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions or tips, and if you're unsure about anything, just mention them below in the comments, and I'll do my best to assist. Now, please do make sure in order to keep the motivation going, and if you want to see videos like this, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Turn on the notification bell icon so you do not miss any new content that I post. With that being said, it's been a great pleasure hosting and presenting this video to you. This is 𝐻𝐑𝐿𝐍𝐓𝐄𝐒𝐓 Sambani signing off. Until the next one, stay safe, be good. Goodbye, my friend.